Right. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Talk It Like a Man podcast. Again, we're joined with another guest. It's kind of how we're doing it now, bringing on as many students and people interested as possible, so we can get different conversations and kind of reach different topics and different narratives. So obviously, I'm Josh McFadden. I'm one of the hosts.
I am the other part of the host duo, Hristo. Very nice to be here again. As you said, we have another very special guest coming, and we're going to let him introduce himself because we won't do him justice if we do it.
Thank you guys for inviting me. My name is Dimitrios Politis. I'm from Greece. I'm doing my postgraduate degree in sports management here at Coventry. And I'm really excited, for being here. I don't know how special I am, but yeah.
If you're on this, you are very special. Because not many people have been on this podcast. So if you are on the podcast, you're one of few. So
yeah. Oh, very close group. Nice. Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you, guys.
So why did you want to come on and talk about what you want to talk about?
I just saw the invitation on an email, not invitation, like the idea of this podcast, and it seemed interesting. And because I'm here more than a year, I arrived last year, September, to start my studies. I got I was supposed to finish on August, but I got a deferral, and I thought it was interesting to have a discussion maybe of how I lived this year here in a new environment, new country, with the studies, and because I happen to have a lot of weight changes in my whole life, and especially the last year a lot, again, because of the COVID. Thought it might be interesting just to share a little bit of my experiences and to learn more. Maybe if I share something that might be interesting to other people, I don't know. I don't think so, but we'll see.
Yeah, no, I think it's interesting. I think kind of there's been, especially with COVID, there's been a kind of a lot of weight changes, whether it's losing or gaining. I know I've done both. Well, I did. I was thinking about this earlier, and partway through, I was running. I could run like 12K. I would do that like a couple of times a week, and we just got into the swing of things, and that was. And then today, when we got on camera, there was a few lines about how much bigger I looked. I realised I looked.
That's what you said. Things.
That was me to myself.
If anything, I complimented you on your looks.
You did.
When was the last time that you did the 12K?
That will have been months ago. I started because actually it was the couch to 5K that I started, and then I used the kind of like the fitness tracker just on my phone to keep doing more and more. And so maybe last week or the week before, I did just under 5, like trying to get back into it. But that was a lot of walking and then running and then walking and then running. And I have put in my diary many times to go again. It is in my diary for tomorrow, so we'll see how that works out.
You will go.
But I think it is one of those things that once you get into it and once you've got kind of the support, it is good. Though I must admit, I never got the whole kind of runner's high thing that they say when you're just kind of doing it.
Same.
Like I don't know if people just say that. It definitely was kind of like a good thing. It gave me an easy win on days that were a bit more negative. Like I'd achieved something because I'd got up and gone for a run. But yeah, I think it can just be a difficult one. And it's also, once you get out of the rhythm, then it's very hard to get back into. And it's very demoralizing how quickly you lose all of the kind of training progress. Yeah.
To be honest, I get it, and to be fair, I never liked running. I used to play football and basketball, which it had a goal, a purpose on when to target, what to do, which was part of it. But just running, personally, I just couldn't have tried, but it wasn't good. And to be honest, humans running is kind of a new concept.
Yeah.
Or at least that's my excuse.
But well, I was going to say, it's definitely kind of it's without a purpose, isn't it? Like the idea of just running for it doesn't necessarily make the sense. I understand what you mean when you say football and stuff, though. I do enjoy it because I will listen to a podcast and I'll just be in my own little world, and
it lets you get into like an echo chamber of you and you time, and it helps you keep focus on the other things you're doing. So as you say, with me, when I would go for a run, it'd be, oh yeah, I'll listen to this podcast, and while I'm running, I'll be really into the podcast, because usually when I'm listening to a podcast, I'm thinking about a different podcast. So when I do go for a run, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm actually hearing what the people talking are saying. So I think it helps you like buckle down, focus, and clear your head a little bit. So I don't think us labeling it as having no purpose is the best way to go. Let's just say that we find it more difficult to find our purpose when running.
Yeah, no, and to be fair, it's not the lack of a purpose. I mean, it's like it was the comparison with football where there's more.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was all I was thinking. Because I do think it's an interesting one. Okay,
so you mentioned that you've gone through quite a bit of weight changes in the past year or during the pandemic. What was the main way that you battled weight gain during that time? Were you active, like running wise? Did you play like a team sport? What did you do?
Well, the last year it wasn't possible to do anything basically, even at best running, but still I didn't even have the time, because during the postgraduate degree is very intensive. I was told it is intensive. Okay, I was like, okay, I'll just study. It's very intensive, it's stressful, because personally I'm used to a system where, okay, you read a lot, you can read a lot, you have exams. Not necessarily easy exams, but it's exams. You read, you can plan, blah, blah. Here, we had every week a coursework to make, put me, I don't know, way more stress. And because I was at the same time living in a student accommodation, which these accommodations were planned not to stay 24/7 inside. And because my purpose was to study and a little bit less about health and all that, I was starting eating more takeaway, more sweets, sitting down more, and slowly just was added up. And especially from January till July, basically, was the time that I got most of the weight. And it's no wonder that on that period, we weren't allowed to go at all in the university. We had, again, 2 days of class, but both of them were online. And most of my classmates had left already from November. So I was literally here alone. In a way, I was in a place which it was fine, but I wasn't able to travel back to. I was scared to travel back, either because I might stay there stuck, and which maybe it was better, to be honest. And also I was worried about my parents. So all that, which everyone had that. I'm not trying to say, oh, this is me.
But also, I think, yeah, people did have that, but people had it all to different extents. Because I knew that I was down the road from my parents, so I do think that you shouldn't kind of play down how difficult the situation was. Is all I'm thinking. That it was difficult, and it must have been, and kind of that's okay.
The thing is, okay, thank you for saying it, but it's things of these that I'm mentioning on their own, they're not big, but they were added up again over time, and it exploded. And yeah, that's more or less that there's a stress, a confinement, not many opportunities to go out. And now that I have the opportunities, I'm not that fit. That makes sense. And again, I don't have as much time, but yeah. Also the image issues, because all my life, to give you a better understanding, between 2017 and 2019, I managed to lose 79 kilos through diet and exercise. But I was at my home in Greece. I was finishing my bachelor studies. I was still studying a lot, and I was doing things, but I had my friends. I was There was no COVID, thankfully. I had a schedule. I could go on with it.
I think there's
Here,
a lot of
especially
things
after
like
COVID,
that with kind of having a schedule, having a time, and being able to plan in and just say this is what I'll do at this point makes it a lot easier. Even kind of being able to plan your meals a bit more and knowing what's going on, it does
I
count
failed
for a
on that.
lot. And I think that it's always hard. I think that's the thing with kind of weight changes is it's like it seems to just keep getting harder because you've got more to lose to feel comfortable or feel healthy, and kind of obviously it depends on what it is you're looking for, and just being happy, really. Like I think that's the key bit, because if you're happy, then that's what's fine.
Just move forward. I'm passing the classes. I'm doing well, so it's working. Keep going. But it broke. This tactic or strategy failed on the long term.
Would you say that you're starting to feel a little bit more comfortable now that we're making the shift back to what we would call normal, with restrictions being looser and us being able to do more things, go out and about, and having the social aspect of even of uni back to where it was before?
It helps, definitely, and thankfully I changed my accommodation. I went to another, and my room now is like double, if not triple. To be honest, I think that was a big issue with supermarkets, because I had to go to. I had a small space in the fridge, and I feel stupid because I should have just asked one more fridge at least. But anyway, we had 2 for 6 people, but it was, and I had to go every 2 to 3 days supermarket, and that was exhausting. That broke me. I mean, okay, I was doing, and there was nowhere else to go.
And to be
outside,
fair,
that was my.
I was going to say, if it's student accommodation within the ring road, then it's a lot more expensive anyway. It's not the Lidl or Aldi that you can get if you're a bit more on the outskirts, which means I'm Lidl every once a week at least.
That's the thing. So, I was trying to walk to Lidl because I want to avoid the buses, etc. Before the vaccine. I was walking. I was like, okay, it's a good opportunity to walk, which it was, but it broke me. Just going almost at least twice, if not 3 times a week to Lidl and back. Otherwise, Sainsbury's. To be honest, Sainsbury's, it's more expensive as. And some stuff that I needed, they didn't have it anyway. So I was like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, see, for me, it was actually like quite the opposite. Like when the pandemic was at its peak, me going to Lidl and shopping was the highlight of my week. I was looking forward to it as much as possible. I made it a day. I made a day out of it. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to Lidl today. So I'd go and spend more time than I care to admit inside the shop, just walking around, looking at stuff and wasting time essentially, because that was the easiest way to do so. But it's interesting to see that you had a very different, like, opposite.
How many times were you going?
Oh, at least 2 a week. At least 2. I loved it. It was my safe haven. It's like, yes, I'm finally out of food. I can go and get more.
But because also, I mean, because Hristo, you weren't working at the time, so when it was like the lockdown restriction, no, I mean, like when it was lockdown, you were locked down, like
no
you had no options, right? Like, so
yeah it was Lidl or nothing.
Yeah
Lidl or couch, and I picked Lidl every day, and that's where most of my money went. I just spend it all on food that I threw away the next day.
Similar experience, but I don't know. Personally, it exhausted. I was tired. I mean, after March, especially, I was tired. And
no, understand. That's very understandable. I know people aren't as crazy as I am, and I really appreciate that. Normal people don't have to go to a supermarket to get their dopamine rush. So,
and I will say that I have since been with Hristo to Lidl, and a trip that would normally take me 10-15 minutes quickly up and down the aisles it was at least 45 minutes, and then we were late for something we were meant to be going to.
But you enjoyed
we only
every
left
second of
because
it.
somebody had phoned to say they were waiting at my door.
Admit that you enjoyed every second of it.
Oh, it was, yeah. We should do it
Exactly.
again sometime. It was
Exactly,
an event.
that's what
It
I'm
was great
saying.
fun.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
Yeah.
you will be very good house husbands, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. That's probably the best compliment I've gotten this month. Good house husband.
The thing is that I was trying with my flatmates to organize a little bit, maybe to order online, for example.
Yeah.
But they weren't that willing for their own reasons, which okay, because on my own to order online, usually they needed at least 20, if not 30 pounds as a minimum order. Personally, because I was trying to eat fresh, I mean, especially my main food is usually salad when I'm eating properly. I made a lot of salad with something, for example, peas, with maybe fish. But as an amount, weight-wise, it's mostly salad. And it takes a lot of space and need to be a little bit fresh. I mean, I can't buy stuff for more than 5 days if they are for salads. And yeah, and they're not very expensive also. So because also, even though there was this option to order online, but it wasn't really an option.
Yeah, because you weren't ordering enough, and the money wouldn't have.
I don't know. Maybe it's just an excuse. Seriously, I don't know. But I'm happy that you had a good. That was your highlight. Out of curiosity, though, Joshua, do you live with family here? Or do you live in a student accommodation?
Yeah,
neither of us live in a student accommodation. No, we both did like a separate house type of situation. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, when lockdown was first beginning, I was in a student accommodation, and I fully relate to what you're saying. It was like a jail cell. Like the good thing about mine was that I had the people there that I was friends with, so they really helped me get through like the initial stages of like realizing what's actually going on. So I remember when like the news first came out, like even before everyone started saying, oh yeah, my cousin knows someone who works at the government and things like that. Yeah, all of us had that cousin. And they were saying like, oh, we are probably going into lockdown, and I genuinely could not process what that would mean. So when I actually started realizing where things were headed, I was like, okay, this is not good. I'm not going to be having a great time here.
Yeah, and to be fair, I remember when it first hit and the announcement came out, I was at Singer, one of the student accommodations, and kind of one country said that they were closing their borders within, I think, 48 or 72 hours, and just all of the people of that nationality just left. Literally, it was like it was 11, 12 o'clock at night, and my friend, one of her flatmates, just packed the bags and gone, and that was it. Like they had 72 hours to get home, or they weren't getting home. And I think like those kind of things just really, no one was expecting it, and it did change things very quickly. I think a lot of it was kind of, and I suppose we can get back to, because I was going to be talking about the media portrayal of things, and I think that was a lot of it to begin with, was the media kind of telling people what to do and how to do things. And there was a lot of things, because even now I was looking at the statistics the other day, and actually of COVID deaths in England, 61% were male. And they were saying that was essentially because men were less likely to wear masks because it made them look weak, and more likely to be going out to work because of the jobs that were classed as key workers. And I thought that was interesting, that obviously the media portrayal of that and the idea of looking weak could be them putting people kind of in more danger. And I think that kind of media perception is an interesting thing in itself.
Going back to the original questions regarding the weight, in general, my life, ever since I was born, I felt like I was fat and overweight. The thing is that I had a little bit premature growth anyway, and I had a little bit more muscle anyway. I was a little bit thicker, let's say, as a boy, which was in the normal range. But I always felt, now I know it was on the normal range. Back then I was felt fat because everyone was skins and bones, and I was a little bit thicker. Facts.
You know, to be
Ever
fair,
since it built up for many years, and
Yeah.
I'm so used to the idea that even though I managed to become thin 2 years ago, basically, the idea of being fat and overweight is into my
Sticks in your
brain.
mind. Yeah,
Yes,
sticks
it's
in
all.
your mind.
This is what I feel comfortable, even though I feel terrible, very nervous and very anxious. I mean, on Sunday I'm supposed to go to meet some classmates to watch a hockey game here on Skydome, and the stress, it's tiresome, but I'm so used to it that it's
it becomes normal because
Yeah,
you just
yes,
account for it.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was just saying that
Sorry.
it's weird for people who haven't had that
Yeah.
experience now hearing you say it, because it is such a cumbersome way to carry on your shoulders, not feeling comfortable in your own skin and not being able to freely go out, see your friends, meet new people, and just being anxious about how you would look in the eyes of the public.
Yeah, I think it
Well,
it becomes a confidence, like a kick to the confidence if you're constantly judging how other people are taking you and what their opinion is. And often as well, I think it's because I know I've definitely been in that situation, and it took me a long time to realize that most of the time people aren't thinking about me. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Like when I'm at some kind of event or something, I'm thinking, oh, they think that I look like this, they think that I look like that, and it took. And to be fair, I say it took me so long. I'm still bad at it sometimes. I have to actively think they don't care. Like that person sitting 3 rows down does not care who I am, what I'm doing, what I look like. Like they're not interested. And I know
it's
that,
likely that they think the same thing about
yeah.
you. They're looking at, oh, what does
themselves,
he think? Does he care? But no one ever does. No.
we are less important than one we think we are.
Yeah, I think that's it. And it's kind of the self-centeredness of all of us thinking that somebody else must be thinking how good or bad we look, when in reality, we're not thinking about other people. So why would they be thinking about us?
Yeah, exactly. It's realizing that other people are very similar to us. And we think, do they care? Do they know? Absolutely not. No, rarely will they. Or what's your personal go-to advice for people who feel in a similar way? What would you say to them to help them overcome those feelings?
Calm down. It is what it is. You need to accept what you are. The most important thing that helped me is to accept myself, to accept what I am, and whatever it is that I am or anyone else is, it's not worth hating. Nothing, whatever it is, okay? Because probably many of those things you didn't even choose. To be short, tall, ugly. It's no reason to hate yourself. It happens. So yeah, acceptance. You need to accept yourself. It's not easy though, because even though it's simple, it's not easy because the comparison big with ourselves. If yesterday we were better, if not, don't stress, which I used to do sometimes, even now that I'm saying, but anyway, don't stress, see what's not going well and see for tomorrow, not for longer than tomorrow. Tomorrow, what can you do tomorrow to be better? That's, if that makes sense. I don't know. What are your professors saying to these situations?
So I think you hit it right on the head when you said that looking at other people, although not always the best thing to do, can be very helpful just so you know where you want to be or how you can get there. So obviously our paths and stories are completely different and unique, but we can measure where we want to be and we can know how to get there by looking at other people's paths, not trying to copy them, not trying to compare ourselves to them, but comparing ourselves to ourselves from the past and trying to build upon that foundation and getting to a place that we want to be. And as you say, it's a very thin line which you have to walk every day between not caring about what people think, but also caring enough so you gain the benefits of the people around you.
yeah, and I realized a few months ago, like, oh my God, I'm doing this a lot. I need to stop. And
yeah, there's no point
yeah,
being down on yourself, because you're one of the people that will always be your own advocate. So it's trying to support yourself and take those baby steps and appreciate, kind of like you've said earlier, that it's taking today and improving for tomorrow and improving for next day and doing those baby steps.
Oh, hello there. This is me, the person you just saw, talking to different people. Where are the people, you might say? I don't know. I was told that the thing didn't work, so I was sent from the future to do another outro. And this is the outro that I'm doing. What I did want to say is, for a little more admin stuff, we have a lot of things in the oven right now. So firstly, we have a project whose father has been on the podcast before. So for people who have been tuning in the past, meaning Josh, a kid, they would have seen the person and they might know who we're talking about. Well, I'm talking about, because it's just me. But yeah, we're very excited to collaborate, help and support him with his project. We be absolutely certain that he will make another appearance on here. We will be making more content with him and about his project. So stay tuned for that. Also, we, as me and Josh, might have another thing cooking. I mean, we do. So keep your ear to the ground for that one. News about it should be coming out in the upcoming weeks, let's say. So yeah, keep your eyes open, and until then, we'll come back next week. We'll have a different episode in terms of tone. It might be more serious, because it's a topic that neither me or Josh know too much about, and we're very excited to learn about it. So yeah, tune in next week, and until then, we will see you soon.